Thank you for staying with us on Good Morning Nigeria. Let's now take a look at, the papers, which will be just after this break.
All right, with a smile on my face, I welcome Chukwudi Okoli-Ugbaja with us for a review of the papers. Chukwudi, good morning to you. Good to see you.
I know why you're smiling. You know that my wealth is going to come in the evening. Owotutu, you know?
What?
When you become rich toward twilight.
No, what did you call it?
Owotutu.
I'm not sure what language you're speaking.
But you know. Good morning, Victor. Good morning,
Good
Jerry.
to see you.
How are you doing?
Very well. All right, it's a good day. All smiles, and I'm glad that you didn't throw anything at Victor this morning.
No.
You've settled your differences.
Actually, the truth, I have to confess on the air, I envy his dressing.
Oh.
He dresses so well.
Oh, okay,
So
that's
when
why
I
you've
come
been
here, I
fighting.
come with bobs, dots, and all that.
But when they come, you see, I know that I don't stand a chance with old men and Yen Ray, so
Can we please review this?
I've left it.
All right. By the way, old men are better. So let's take a look at the headlines. Looking at the papers this morning, let's begin with the leadership. The leadership, of course, leads with experts seek regional front against Lakurawa. That's on page 4. You want to find out what that's about. Ask federal government to adopt multidimensional approach to threat. Want intelligence gathering ensuring strengthened. Lakurawa not a new terror group, according to Bulama. All right, so away from that, above the masthead, of course, this is good news. Of course, Edo people are excited about this. Okwebolo takes over as Edo governor today. Good one, that's on page 19. And next to that, we have you can redeem judiciary's image, CGN tells judges, and that's on page 4. Away from that, beside the picture story, we have late Chief of Army Staff Lakwaja for burial Friday. Below that, in Saudi, Tinubu calls for end to Gaza war. And a sad one coming from the U.S. on page 7, man kills family members self over Trump's victory. Court nullifies Ebonyi PDP congresses. That's on page 19. That's all I can take from the leadership this morning. The front page, of course, looking at the Daily Trust quickly now. The Daily Trust leads with Saudi summit. Tinubu, Prince Salman, others demand end to Israel's aggression in Gaza. Call for two-state solution. Death toll in Palestine surpasses 43,000. 16,765 children among victims. Over 100,000 wounded. That's on page 4. And of course, there's a picture here of what's happening in Saudi Arabia. It's a beautiful one. And of course, the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is also right here. Okay, below that, in the black strip, Dangote Ipman agree on direct fuel supply. Details on page 23. Lassa fever kills 11 persons in Benue. Police officers protecting foreign cyber criminals on illegal duty. That's according to the IGP. Police officers protecting foreign cyber criminals on illegal duty. EFCC to monitor funds, disbursements to IPPIS orders, and that's on page 7. Away from that, just below the masthead, we have Ondo governorship politicians woo voters with cash, food. Manufacturers spend 238.3 billion naira on alternative energy. And finally, this morning, from the front page of the Daily Trust, Boko Haram kills 3, kidnaps many fishermen in Borno. Victor.
All right, thank you, Ian Ray. I have the Nigerian pilot, which leads with this story. End of fuel scarcity soon. And it has 4 riders as Ipman, Dangote reach agreement on direct supply of PMS others. Ipman says agreement will ensure steady, affordable supply of PMS nationwide, that Dangote has agreed to supply it with PMS, AGO, DPK directly, and calls on members to rely on Dangote Nigerian refineries for white products. Okay? And I like the picture story that goes with it. Fuel queue in Abuja, it is labeled. All right, and above that story, you have a strip of stories. No November salary for workers without residence number. That's according to the Kwara State government, page 4. FG's 2025 target for open defecation-free attainment not feasible. That's on page 6. And in sports, Newcastle joined Galatasaray in race to sign Osimhen. Okay, and at the bottom of the front page of the Nigerian Pilot, parliamentary system best for Nigeria, ex-Osun governor Aregbesola. That story is on page 6. And NCS, that's the Nigeria Customs Service, demolish 40 feet, 209 deadweight tonnage containers of contraband. Page 4, Gwandu urges African countries to unite for 600 MHz spectrum allocations. Obaseki leaving 410 billion naira, that's according to transition report. And customs, Une command generates 550 billion naira in 10 months. That one is on page 19. Illegal mining, security forces accused of complicity in Kebbi. That one is on page 22. And finally, Benue government confirms 63 cases of Lassa fever, 11 fatalities. That one is on page 6. Chukwode.
Illegal mining. You know, I've always said that Dela Lake and his team, people do not know the kind of assignment they've been set to accomplish, the solid mineral sector. You know, we have to support them. Nobody is telling us anything new about who is,
Who is complicit.
teaming up, complicit in illegal mining activities. It's big business, just as kidnapping has become big business in Nigeria. So what the people are interested in knowing is how you want to stop what has become a big menace to national development. If we get half of the money we can from solid minerals, for instance, you'll know that oil, yes, is a money spinner, but even the solid minerals sector is also another. So it depends on the sincerity of the Nigerian nation. And that means the leaders on the left about getting that assignment done. You know, they're just telling us things we already knew.
An end of fuel scarcity soon. Should we be cautiously optimistic?
I don't know why after investing $20 billion, we would not have fuel, steady fuel from Dangote. So again, that is not news. What will be news to the Nigerian person is what are the actions being taken to ensure that the price drops to what the people can afford. Go to filling stations now. You see 3 keke, you see 5 motorcycles, you see 2 cars and all that. Market forces are setting in. I told you a man who was selling for 1,200 has now dropped to 1,150. Then the people who were selling for 1,150, I noticed one of them has now dropped to 1,130.
So should we applaud them?
It is, market forces are beginning to work. People will tell you anything goes up in Nigeria, it doesn't ever come down. That's not true. And I said just 2 days ago, leave Dangote and marketers, let them war. Eventually it will all percolate to cheaper prices for us. Say you hear say them don't green now. I knew that that fight was concocted.
So are you still comfortable with the price at the moment?
Are you not comfortable with the fact that I said that the prices are dropping? Why do you have an insatiable appetite? You Nigerian people, thank God for small mess.
No, we just,
But
it's for clarity, to be sure of what exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
But at the end of the day, if Dangote could do it, one of the things we hear about One, Kaduna and the rest of them is that those refineries are too outmoded. You can't turn them around effectively. Dismantle them and set up a new one. If Dangote could do it with $20 billion, why would government not be able to give us one that works well? These are the issues.
Your guess is as good as
Petrobras,
mine.
Petrobras, the Brazilian energy company, owned state company. 64% of it is owned by the government of Brazil. It works perfectly. The real champion of them all, Aramco, the Saudi Aramco, 90.19% of it is owned by the Saudi government. And their digitalization and all that, take you to a state of wonder. Every drop of fuel is accounted for. We cannot keep on singing, a dirge, when actually we should be triumphant in the marketplace. It's not right. It's not right. Okay, they are saying now that we need a regional front to confront the new terror group. What are they called?
Lakurawa.
Please call it properly. I accuse presenters of not calling Nigerian names well. I think you got it right. I have been Lakurawa-ing them. So you said Lakurawa. I like that. Thanks for teaching me. Okay? Who does not know that the kind of insecurity in West Africa needs a regional whatever? And that's why we are complaining about the coup in Niger. What is happening in Mali, Burkina Faso, and the rest of it. People do not know the implications of some of the actions they take. Okay, the Khaki boys are back in Niger and all that. It's going to affect Nigeria indirectly. They said these people marched across the borders into our territory. But whatever happens, the Nigerian authorities, the Nigerian army, they said they're going to do what? Crush them.
Well, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
And then the former Osun State Governor, Rauf Aregbesola, says
any system would work for Victor.
It depends on
if
those
men
operating
are
it.
honest, if men are sincere, there's nothing like African democracy, because there's nothing like African pipe-borne water or African petrol or African honesty or African truth. I am tired of listening to things that don't mean anything. Parliamentary system, have you made sure that it's really cost saving? What about the complexity of Nigeria in terms of, the Rainbow Coalition that makes it up? Is it going to meet that? You have to answer all those questions. But at the end of the day, I'm just a journalist, general knowledge person. I'm not an expert in any of these things. I still say that men are not sincere. That is why we are suffering on the continent of Africa.
But for one, it is likely to reduce cost of governance.
Well, that's
because the executive and legislature, almost become, one.
What if one legislator decides to get 40 aides?
We're saying the same thing.
Exactly.
However, but then it is what if you are going to fund your aides from your pocket, and there is a bill actually, I don't know, on the floor of the House, trying to switch Nigeria to parliamentary system. And the arguments you hear from those who say, no, it will not fly, is that money bags will push them away and take their seats. Oh. So it's about it's about who grabs what.
Victor, Africa should wake up to the duties it owes itself. Morality.
True, very
true. It's very important on this continent. We don't care anymore.
It's the kind of argument you hear.
Any system can actually work. It depends on the people.
It's the people.
Making up their minds.
At least we see parliamentary system in the UK. We see it in Canada. A number of places. And then you see the executive, the presidential system in the US and other places.
And it's working. So exactly, it's about the people.
It works for them.
Man's inhumanity to man.
Thank you for that, statement. Man's inhumanity to man. One would have wondered that, or rather thought that with the NSAS movement, police brutality on civilians would have ended and would hear no cases, anymore. But there's this report right here talking about a mother of a student killed by cops. The report says the 27-year-old was allegedly beaten by 3 police officers in Kwara State.
Yes.
And the young man eventually passed on. I just saw it and it caught my attention.
You're not just a good news writer. You're also a good news deliverer. You delivered allegedly. Allegedly. We do not know the circumstance of that. But what you're saying in essence is that we want more proactive action towards police-citizen decency by the men in uniform.
True.
But part of the problem Yeah, Ray, there's a personal issue I decided not to raise here. This is national television. A nephew of mine was killed at the duty post in Asaba. We are running around looking for money to look after the wife and children. They are telling them that the allowance, the pension and whatever may not come in the next 1 year. What are we doing to our police force? His unit people brought money together to bury him. I thought they would buy him a coffin and all that. What are we doing to the police force? We come here, we talk about these people are suffering. They are going through things that should not happen to human beings.
And of course, it would affect the way they relate with.
20,000 naira from Abuja to Siluku and drops 500. You say I'm bribing police people. No, it doesn't work that way. We have to be sincere as a people. We have to treat the police as human beings before they can serve us properly. Very important. I just told you a personal, I have been keeping it to myself. Treat the police well. They're going to get better. A police commissioner told me a society gets the kind of police force it deserves. In an interview, I said, don't you know this is going on there? My friend, do you know any sociology at all? He turned the interview against me. Nigerians need to school themselves. Be sincere to your neighbor. You will find out that life becomes better at the community level. It percolates down to every other thing, and government finds it easier to govern the country. A country where parents have abdicated their responsibilities. We need a reorientation in every facet of our life. This was not how we were. Well, I know you people are not quite my age bracket, even though I'm still Chooks the boy. But things were good in our time. When you could beat another man's child and you didn't think that the young mother will come with a shovel to chop off your head because you touched my pikin.
Because
they beat you that time, you went home, complained about it,
and your mama
and papa go after her.
A child isn't raised by only
an individual,
A child
it's a
belongs to the
community.
community. And we are Africans. It's not everything Oyibo that we should be imitating, aping.
A good parent will first ask, what did you do?
It's not fair what we are doing to ourselves. It's just not fair, but we can get a lot better. It's never late to mend.
Well, there's going to be handover in Yenre's state today, and the transition report is indicating that 410 billion naira is being left behind by the Obaseki administration.
That means that... better check the money first before we begin to praise Obaseki.
Because we've seen in many cases where the outgoing says, I left this amount there.
And the incoming says, we didn't find it.
There. And he said, no, it is there. Look properly. He said, no, it's not there.
And the incoming complaints and the person says, what are
because
you
because nobody wants to account. Because nobody wants to account for what it is.
Africa.
Even if the incoming sees it, we say, no, I didn't see it. So
no, but we are happy that those state elections happened. There's going to be peaceful transition. What about the man that killed himself, family members, over Trump matter?
That's in the U.S. They should mind their business.
Okay.
Want to lure us into Afghanistan.
We are minding our business here.
But please, our president mentioned a two-state solution to the Israeli-Palestinian problem. I know we are thematically local when we do this thing.
All right. Many thanks, Chukwudi. It's time to, wrap up.
Netanyahu should listen to that.
All right. I hope he's listening to you too. All right. We should wrap up a newspaper review. Many thanks, Chukwudi.
And you deserve a cup of coffee.
Thank you. You guys, you always make me overjoyed when I come here.
You deserve a cup of coffee. Grab one on your way out.
I will.
All right. So we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll get into the conversation. Stay with us.